or contributing factor, should I say.
Okay, so this is the food strategy pathway. So first off, we're removing those gateway allergens. Then we're looking at getting those macronutrients balanced. And so this is the PFC, the fundamental, the PFC plan. And that's predominantly to make sure blood sugars are balanced. Like we're getting the right macronutrients in, we're getting the right levels of fat, and absolutely nailing, I've got my blood sugars balanced. Then we need to remove cortisol stimulators such as caffeine and alcohol. And as I'm saying this, there's the blue arrow underneath, which says we're moving through the food intolerance hierarchy. So if their symptoms are still there, then we are going to keep going on, okay, now it's time to look at eggs. Now it's time to look at seeds. Now, so we're going to keep going through that bit by bit, one by one, not all in one go. Then we're going to look at the hormone reset food strategy, and we're going to start to look at meal timings, fat tailoring, and lowering carbs. Then we can move into the microbiome repair using learning from the autoimmune protocol and FODMAP. And then we can move into the systemic reset, which is the meat-based with a complete allergen elimination.
I would say if you are, it depends where your client is at. If you do have someone who is eating a load of junk food, a load of processed food, is eating lots of wheat, lots of sugar, I mean, going straight for that right end could be too overwhelming. So you just want to start with the gateway allergens, and you want to be balancing their blood sugars with the PFC. You judge it. You may have a woman who has just thrown everything in the kitchen sink at this and has tried every food plan under the sun and is willing to go the extra mile. I would say if that microbiome, leaky gut, endotoxin picture is an issue, and you will spot it from their health history forms by looking at their digestive issues and their digestive history. If they're in a place where they're open to, I would, with a woman, be looking at the microbiome repair as a food strategy that you want to be heading towards or starting off with. That is, go on.
I was going to say some points there. You can't add dates, raisins, flax, sunflower seeds, and nut butter to porridge. Not if you're struggling with symptoms. And if you can get away with it, it's what I would say to people.
Get away with it. And the trouble with that question is, I'm going to say, and the porridge has got to go.
Yeah, the porridge has got to go. Are there any foods that can increase progesterone? Well, yes, but this is where it gets annoying. Flax seeds can, but they're a seed. And so there are so many defense chemicals in those seeds that they can actually be very triggering for the inflammation. So that's a really challenging one. So microbiome repair. Want to do this one?
Yes, this is our food strategy if you are working with someone where you want to be supporting that gut environment. If you can get a woman to start with this or work towards this, that would be fantastic. We are working on the PFC principles, so you're making sure that each meal they are having a portion of protein, which is roughly around the size of a fist. They're having at least 10 grams serving of fat, so that can be 10 olives to 1 tablespoon of coconut oil to 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. And then you're looking at the carbohydrates. You've got the unlimited there, which are non-inflammatory. And you've got you're going to have half a cup serving of a starchy veg, so you're not spiking the blood sugars, or half a cup serving of fruit. It's not you have half a cup serving of starchy veg and fruit. It's or, but you can go unlimited with those vegetables. What this is based on, the learning that was taken from FODMAP and also the autoimmune protocol, we are going to be limiting these foods. Like the grains and the legumes need to go, the dairy needs to go, the nightshades particularly need to go. So you can do this as a staged approach. Have that conversation with your client. Where are they at? The real key when working with food intolerances, and one of my favorite questions is, what are they eating every day, and what are they eating a lot of, and what do they really, really like and can't let go of? It's usually that, because of food intolerance, you do create a cortisol adrenaline response, which is quite addictive. It does, it feels lovely. and it's spiking your blood sugars, and it's stimulating those cravings. So part of your coaching role is to have those difficult conversations about, yeah, you know, that porridge that you're eating every morning that you really, really like, I think we need to review it and replace it, and use these guidelines of the microbiome. This is also the systemic reset. This is taking it a step further. I would say the systemic reset is when you've been working with someone for a number of months, I'd say 6 to 12 months, and you cannot get underneath something. This is a short-term plan that you can really go into detail with, and it is a complete allergy elimination. You're really, really stripping out all of it. And it's a very, it's quite a restricted diet for some, and it does need quite a level of coaching to be able to work with. But it is your get out of jail free card, I would say, when it comes to plans.
Someone said about buckwheat helping digest protein. I would actually really question that, because it's actually got quite a lot of protease inhibitors in it. So it literally stops our absorption of protein. So it would actually be considered an anti-nutrient.
We want to be looking at adding nutrient-dense foods into the diet to be able to get as much nutrition into someone to support the immune system, to support the gut repair. Bone broth is amazing for gut repair. However, if there is SIBO present, it's a histamine food. So then you've got the histamine fight on your hands, where it can start to create more immune symptoms than it's actually solving. So this is why we would introduce bone broth after you've gone through the SIBO protocol, when you've done that SIBO work and the gut is then ready for repair. Introducing things like organ meat can be really great. It's not for everybody. You can use supplements if you want to get that kind of nutrition in, rather than doing it through food. Organic meat, low toxic cooked vegetables, seasonal fruits, really, really simple. This is the kind of foods that you want to be introducing into someone's diet who is trying to work with endometriosis. When we're looking at supplements, if there is digestive issues, and I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to be working with digestive issues with someone with endometriosis, you want to be adding in maybe some digestive support with your enzymes or acid. You can also use some gut healing amino acids, that's L-glutamine and L-arginine. The immune antioxidants, the vitamin A, C, D, and E. One of the issues that we've got if they've got underlying SIBO is that their A and D and E are fat-soluble vitamins, and so the SIBO will potentially make those difficult to absorb. So you want to be dealing with the SIBO and making sure that those nutrients are going in. There's this kind of double whammy that happens with the immune system. They're not able to get the nutrients in, as well as having the SIBO as an issue. The estrogen detoxes that we work with, calcium deglucarate, NAC, and DIM, you will see in your lessons a breakdown of when to use what. If you've got a woman who's in that estrogen dominance place, then they can be really, really effective. NAC, it can be really, really amazing for the immune system, and calcium deglucarate can be really, really amazing for the digestive system. So, use those and find the right one for your client. Glutathione is going to be helping with your methylation. It's going to be supporting the liver. I will be using that a little bit later on, once you've been dealing with all the digestive and hormones picture. Getting the minerals in, such as zinc, magnesium, and iron. This is zinc and magnesium. Every time we look at anything, when we're looking at blood sugars, when we're looking at hormones, when we're looking at digestion, they're always the go-tos. They're always the ones that are supporting the body to do their job. And I would be looking at iron if you've got a woman who's heavy bleeding. B vitamins, depending on their methylation, B vitamins can be really important for digestive function, as stress. So you can introduce a B complex if there's some real stress going on. Omega-3, when the SIBO is dealt with, if they can digest it, omega-3s can sometimes repeat on people. And so you can maybe get the fats in via diet rather than actually through supplements. We've mentioned the organ capsules if someone does not want to eat any offal. Adaptogens to boost progesterone is what we would be working with endometriosis, and we want to be reducing the inflammation. Ashwagandha and chaste tree are two really great. Chaste, sorry. I'm reading it like it's Spanish.
Chaste.
Chaste. Are two adaptogens that we would be working with. Ashwagandha is such an interesting one because it's, for some people, it can keep them awake. Some people, it can help them sleep. Some people, it can reduce inflammation. Some people, it can be inflammatory. So go careful with it, but it can be really, really powerful. I need to be able to move my, because of the Zoom, there it is, I've moved it. I would say adaptogens, herbs can be challenging if there is a endometriosis flare or an autoimmune flare. So be careful about them being too stimulating. So go gentle. One of the recommendations we would make is when they start taking the adaptogen, that they start on a very, very low dose.